wide wings for the 0 DTE iron condors. Let's take a look and see where Jacob and the team is going with this one. Because of the size of the SPX and the time, and the fact the time is not factored into the FINRA minimums, which again, that's really interesting because, that benefits customers. It does not benefit brokerage firms.
Sure.
Just to be clear, we do not like the fact that on SPX that we don't get the benefit of duration. So it's kind of a little bit weird, but naked 0 DT short positions are untradeable for most accounts. The reason for that is a one lot short strangle is like 120 grand where the index is currently trading. So in order to reduce the 120 grand down to some very reasonable number, like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand, whatever it is, you got to buy the wings. So last week we examined how using low cost, far out of the money, long options lets you place 0 DT trades. If instead we began the day knowing roughly how much buying power we're willing to commit, how much would we end up spending on wings? Here's the question before I show you the study, Bat. If I told you that the cutoff for a synthetic strangle versus an iron condor, how many points do you think that's going to be in the SPX?
I mean, we've done a lot of research.
I know. How many points?
30, 20.
Okay, so you would think 30. I would say 30.
Sure.
You would think 30.
Yeah.
But after today's research, we're going to show you it's really around 50.
Okay.
It's really around 50 points. So anything inside of 50 points. So if you're doing SPY, it's inside of 5. If you're doing Qs, it's inside of 5 points. If you're doing IWM, it's inside of 5 points. If you're doing SPX, it's 50. So 50 and under is like an iron condor. And over 50, 60 to 90 is like a synthetic strangle.
Sure.
Okay?
Sure.
That's what we're going to show you today. Let's go next slide.
The put side's going to have, you're going to be shorter on the call side or tighter on the call side than the put side.
No, this is just going the equidistant.
I know, but an equal distance call is going to be much cheaper than that equal distance put.
Yeah, you're going to get more money for the puts. Let's go next slide. Remember, in 0 days, it's not quite the same. But so 2 years of data, 20, 30, 40 delta strangles, a variety of fixed. These are fixed, not delta. These are fixed strikes, 30 to 100 wide. Examine the total cost of the wings and just assume that that if we're up 25%, we're closing. If not, we're letting go. Okay, let's go next slide. Oh, actually, this is not profits. This is just buying power. Take that back. So we like the 20 delta short strike. That's kind of our wheelhouse. That's where this first study looks at. So if you do $40 wings, costs you $1. You do $50 wings, costs you 67 cents. You want to go wider than that, goes all the way down to 24 cents. These are on the 0 days. Okay. The average buying power, though, flips the other way, 3,400 to 8,300. Right? You get that. So the wider the wings, the cheaper the amount of money you have to put up.
Right.
But to buy the wings, but the more money you have to put up to make the trade. How often does it offer real protection? I mean, generally speaking, we're talking it's nil.
Yeah, if you look at this, you're getting the same $6.50, no matter whether you go to $40 wide or $90 wide.
Yeah, and
right. I mean, because that's the average daily buying power is about $650 different than the.
If you just take the middle strike, $60 wide, just for argument's sake.
Yep.
It protects you two tenths of 1%, 2 basis points. That's it, and 20 basis points. But the average buying power 5,300 and the average cost 50 cents. And that's the middle tier. None of these are better than the other ones. Like if you do the most expensive or you do the cheapest, it doesn't mean anything. It's all preference. Like we're not saying that any one of these is better than anything else. We're just showing you the numbers. If you only have $3,400 to use, you got to buy the $40 wings or $30 wings because then you don't put up way less money. If you have plenty extra capital, if 10 grand extra or 9 grand extra, buy the $90 wings and only put up 24 cents. It's never going to help you anyway.
Right.
So that's the whole point. Never, 2 tenths, one time out of 100. It's not really for protection. It's really just to see how much less money you have to put up. So if you don't buy the wings, it's 120,000. If you buy the wings, it's 3,400 to 8,000. It's the whole thing. That's your whole trade. Let's go next slide. If you do the 30 delta strike, just to show you, the numbers are all the same. I mean, you're going to pay more. That's the whole difference for the wings. You're going to pay a little bit more, and you're going to put up a little less money, and it might help you a little bit more. The only time it really helps is if you're going to get to the next one. Beth, go to the next slide, because these numbers are all the same. Here's where 13% of the time it could come into play, but you pay a lot more here when you're doing the 40 delta strangle. Now, here's the problem with the 40 delta strangle. I don't do it. Tony doesn't do it. We don't even really do 30 deltas. We really only do 20s. But some people like the bigger numbers and the bigger premium, and you put up less money here, $2,500. But we just wanted to show you, this is, you pick your number. Like, so next time somebody tells you, oh, you should only do $30 wide, $40 wide, $50 wide wings. The answer here is, it doesn't matter what you do. Do $90 if you want to put up more money. Do $40 if you want to put up less money. Like, they're all theoretically, none is better than the other. It's just a symmetrical layout.
I mean, it comes down to risk versus reward, and really, more importantly than that, you need the stock to cooperate. You need the strategy to work because the stock cooperates. And I've always said that since the dawn of time. You always need the stock to cooperate, no matter what the strategy is that you're applying. And here's what they're saying here too: 0 days. You really are looking to make a synthetic short option here. It really comes down to account size now when you look at this.
Yep.
That's really what it comes down to.
Let's go next slide. So we go through the takeaways here. This is kind of interesting. And again, not a really complicated segment today, but just showing you that pick whatever strike you want. Don't get too tight, because you're not really doing yourself any benefit paying the extra money. Although naked 0 DTE premium is buying power reduction prohibitive, we can use wide iron condors to help us place trades that behave like strangles. $80 or $90 wide is essentially strangle behavior, but you give up 30 cents per trade. Narrower than 50 can be viewed in earnest as an iron condor, and the wings are much more about protection and from large moves. In general, for the same buying power commitment, you'll spend less on the wings when your short strikes are further out of the money. And so in practice, the conclusion here is you can adjust wing selection every day. Balancing how much buying power you're willing to commit plays a role in how much P&L you're willing to sacrifice.
I like it. Nice study, really telling you.
It's a game.
Is it really place your bets? I mean, is it really?
It's just a game. Like, you want to put up less capital, you sacrifice a little P&L. You want to put up more capital, you make more money. It's the same game we always play.